welcome to A Voice for All. I am your host, Jamila Gamble. I trust you've had a pleasant week, and I always love the fact that you guys are tuning in. As always, if you have messages, feedback, show content, suggestions, feel free to email me. You can tweet me. You could join the Jam Fam on Facebook. Lots of resources, local stories, and tons of awesome people that you should connect with. Now, I have two guests on my show. If you're just tuning in, you might think I'm doing a fashion segment, but it's not a fashion segment. This is a really serious topic that actually needs to be addressed. And if you are a parent with a child who has special needs, if you are a parent who has a child who has an IEP, and if you are a parent who is struggling to get through to your school system, this show is for you. So please join me in welcoming Judy and Lorraine. Judy.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's show. And I know you have a wealth of information for parents. And I feel that this interview might get out of control. So just in case, I have Todd Sir the Owl. He's the owl that lets us know whose turn it is to talk.
We knew this was coming.
I know.
Yes,
that's why I brought him.
We've heard about this owl.
Okay, let's start it off. Lorraine, tell us what you do.
Day to day or just in general?
Day to day.
Day to day, I'm a professor at Sheridan College and at McMaster University, and the mom of two wonderful boys, and my youngest son has autism.
Okay.
So, and I'm also the chair of the Special Education Advisory Committee for the Halton Catholic District School Board.
Wow. Okay. Woo. Intro.
I know.
Judy.
I know.
You're up.
Day to day.
What
yes.
don't you do?
Everything.
What don't you do?
Yeah. We try and keep ourselves really busy. I mean, our main objective at the moment is, of course, Project Autism, which is a community grassroots, and it's huge. I mean, it's growing. And
you were on season 2, and I know you guys have come such a far way since season 2.
Since season 2, we've added even more components, and that's why we're here today, because of the Education for All component.
So let's start that off.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is going on for Education for All?
The need. I mean, there is such a need within our community. Our parents are struggling. And I think sometimes, you know, what's amazing, that's why Lorraine's here today, is so that you can put a face to the person at CX, so that you know that there is an advisory council, that there is help for you. And to set up, you know, she has a wealth of information. Our parents sometimes are, you know, they don't understand that they need to get that education to understand the system.
They're overwhelmed.
They're overwhelmed.
So what are some of the concerns you're hearing from parents with the school system?
Lack of support. Lack of support.
For themselves or for their child?
For their child, for themselves, the inability to communicate effectively with the schools,
That's a big
with
one.
the administration in the schools, their EA, the teacher, whoever it may be that is supporting their child. And the fact that they just don't know. They don't know what's available to them.
Yes.
They don't know what they cannot do. And then that translates into their struggles in the home.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, do you think that might contribute to why some teachers might view parents as being not interested in their child's education, and it's merely because they don't understand?
No.
It's one thing to have a child with a disability, but now there's all these little things that comes with it, and to understand that must be so overwhelming for some parents.
One, for the parents and also for the school system itself. What parents also have to realize, it's not just them, it is the schools themselves that are also struggling.
Yes.
Because no two children are the same, regardless of disability. Even if it was a learning disability, every child is different. Children with autism, children that are deaf, blind, hearing, all children are completely different in their needs, so there's no cookie cutter approach. So they can't understand what they need to do, and then it translates into the parents not knowing how to communicate what their child needs.
Okay, so Judy, what have you guys for Education for All been helping parents with?
Well, we wanted to start really early, so we've now started with workshops that are totally educational for the parents. So understanding what an IRPC is. Is that right? Have I said that? IPRC?
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, yes, the
I get it.
IPRC meeting.
Right.
The identification,
What is,
yes.
right,
Yes.
the identification. What is an IEP?
Yes.
Because you don't understand, you know,
Do you
some
give them
parents,
a list of abbreviations?
well, yes, I even need that list of abbreviations. It's so difficult after a while.
Yeah.
And there's also that lingo that we don't understand,
Yes.
because we don't have that education background. So, but we're needing to have it. We're needing to now come into these things.
Empowering the
with
parents.
Exactly. So doing the workshops, you know, getting them to see what is the form, what does it look like, what is going to be asked of you, what should be on the form,
Yes.
how do you go into the meeting, you know, who is your
When don't you
support?
sign the form?
When don't you?
When do you?
That's,
When don't you?
That's a huge thing, guys. That's a huge thing, because you not only now have an unhappy child who is not reaching full potential, and as a parent, think about it, 14 years, more or less, actually more for special needs, in a school system where a child, the focus of the child, yes, there's a curriculum, great, but what is a curriculum when we don't teach a child in the way that that child needs?
Absolutely.
What does it mean?
I've always said that.
Exactly.
I've always said that.
So, you know, so there is. So these workshops are designed to understand the school system. So, and they're all free, as you know, Project Autism does 100% free.
A million times over.
But I think it's good. I think resources now. Now we actually have a component where if you're looking up, you'll find it, you'll find what it is, the links to it, because there's so much information. Our government gives us tons of information, but nobody tells you that it's there.
Yeah.
So how do you come in to the picture?
If you look at just my role as SEAC, every school board has to have a SEAC. We're all required to. This is mandated by the provincial government.
Do we get access to you? Do we know who you are?
Every school board should have it listed. So if I look at the school board that I represent, Halton Catholic, we have our information listed on the Halton Catholic District School Board website, who we are, who's represented, our contact information. The fact that I'm chair is also on there. Our meetings are open to the public. There may be a small closed session, but that would be.
I wonder how many parents know about that.
Very few, if any at all. And that's actually been a struggle of most SEACs. We're trying to get the parent community to understand who we are and that we're there for them. And unfortunately, most of the time we're only hearing about parents and from parents when there's a problem, but we don't want that. We want to be able to communicate with parents on all levels because we represent parents. So for us to be able to bring their issues in an advisory capacity, because that is all we are to the board, to the table, we need to know what they are and not just the problems, the good, the bad, and what's working and not working.
Okay, so with 5 minutes left, I told you, man, geez.
Okay, I know.
I have to have you guys back.
I know,
this is not the only episode. We have 5 minutes left. I'm going to break it down into little mini topics so we can cover everything.
Yes.
What do parents need to know when it comes to IEPs? 2 points from each. Go.
They need to understand that it is, you have to go in forewarned. You have to know the knowledge. So they have to, first of all, look it up online. Go to the Ontario government site, look it up, understand what it is, what your rights are. Because when you understand what your child's rights are, you now have a better understanding going in. That's point one. Point number two. Point number two is communication, open communication. You know, I love it when Lorraine taught us, don't go in with emotion.
No.
Don't. You know, you have to think that emotion has to stay behind. Don't go into an IEP alone.
Okay.
Parents, come on. Don't do that. Don't go in alone.
Tell her.
Right.
So my points, just to reiterate what Judith has said, you treat it like a business.
Right.
This is your child, and I know that you're very emotional when it comes to your children.
Yes.
Treat it like a business. Go in there, have facts, have your ducks in a row, make sure you've done your research.
People like stats.
Stats, information about your child. Also, the parent needs to be realistic. What can we work on right now? Know the short-term, long-term goals for your child, and sit down and be very expressive about those goals. And if you need to have support in the room, a psychologist, a therapist of any, have them there. That is your right as a parent to bring it in.
I love that.
And if you have issues, you can even call on representatives like myself to come and sit in on those meetings to act as a neutral party.
Then again, I'm not a parent, right? So I don't have to do things like that, but I'm sure there's a lot of parents who don't know.
But I think it's important that parents do know that she is available, even just to answer your questions sometimes, you know. We need
clarity.
That.
Okay. Let's see, next question. Jeez, it comes to you guys. I don't even know. There's so much to cover. The workshops. The education workshops.
They're free. They're only in Halton, but we have online. So it doesn't matter where you're staying. It doesn't matter if you're north, if you're south, if you're east, if you're west. If you need that access, it is on live on Facebook, and there is Twitter.
Your parent-to-parent group?
Parent-to-parent. Yeah, that's all you have to look up is Project Autism Parent-to-Parent. And it's live, and it's really amazing how the community is coming together, and they discuss things, and they throw things back and forth, and maybe maybe your child can utilize that information, maybe yours can't. But the whole thing is we as a community are starting to talk. We're starting to get together and we realize we've got to help each other.
Yes.
We're here for each other.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lorraine, with 1 minute left, you're on both sides here. You're a parent who has to advocate for your child, and then you're also that person who's giving advice to parents. What do you have to say being in the middle for parents and being the professional behind the scenes?
I think both the educators and also parents have to understand that each other is struggling. The educators are struggling with what they can do for your child. There are good in administration and teachers, et cetera, and there are bad. So you've got to understand where they're coming from. And parents have to understand that they've got to be realistic when it comes to their child. I assess and reassess my child every month, every week, every day, because he's changing. So what I think he can do today, he exceeds it or he can't get there. And I realize that. So if parents are very realistic about their child's needs and what they can do with their child, and they try as hard as it is to work together, they will be successful. And if they can't get anywhere, seek support. There are other parents, there are groups, there are organizations. We're all here to help because we're all in the same boat. And that was the one thing when I spoke to the parents last week. They didn't realize that I too, even what I do, I am like them struggling.
And it's a huge boat.
Do you see what happens when I have Project Autism and now Lorraine on the show? We could go on, and they will be back. The information does not end here. You will see at the end of the segment, all their information will be listed. Reach out to them. You heard, ask questions. If you want help, how are you going to get help if you're not asking questions? Think of your child's future. Do you want your child's future to go down or do you want it to go up? Know what you have to do, seek the resources, seek the support, ask the questions, know your rights. Again, thank you so much for tuning into A Voice for All. I will have the information listed for you on the Facebook page, so do not worry, it's all there for you. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and I will catch you guys next week. If you'd like to get in touch with Project Autism, feel free to visit their website at www.projectautism.ca, and you could also tweet them at Project Autism CA. Lots of resources, lots of support. Be sure to contact them today. Back to A Voice for All. If you're just tuning in, I'm so excited because this is a fantastic interview we have coming up. Before I get to my guest, I just want to show you this. Can we just zoom in on this for a quick second, please? Do you see this? This is my gift from Project Autism. Beautiful. Judy's son, Aiden, who's a phenomenal artist, actually painted and designed this, and it's their community bench. And they want to fit as many bums as possible on this bench. So as a community, let's all get together, let's all sit down, talk, and be strong. All right, so my guest right here is a Casanova, Mr. Stud Muffin over here. He is a comedian, he's a storyteller, he is a community representation of awesomeness.
Community freak.
Community freak. He is everything under the sun, and I've worked with him for several years. We just got reconnected, so it's such an honor for me to have Darriush and his mom, Sharon, who her title underneath will say Super Mom. Thank you guys for joining A Voice for All. Darriush, how are you doing?
You can tell she's so excited.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. It has been not done no see, Jamie.
Long time no see, Stud Muffin. I hear you wrote a book. Or you're a storyteller. I heard you told a story.
I actually did, and that is right. And that is right. I am actually a storyteller. I'm not I thought to my dad and my stepmom, all co-authors. I am just a storyteller.
But a phenomenal storyteller. And aside from that, you're a comedian?
Aside from that, I am a comedian.
Who is your favorite comedian?
Well, to be honest, there is so many, but one of my favorites, and maybe my all-time favorite, is Zarrabi, who, by the way, does not mean it's Jewish.
I was just gonna say, you guys are like probably long distance cousins. And if you've ever been to the Rose Theatre in Brampton, they have lots of staff working at the Rose Theatre. But I want to know how many of you have seen Darriush working at the Rose Theatre. He is an usher at the Rose Theatre, and what makes me so proud is that it shows people in our community that people who have a disability are fully capable of working. And I guarantee you that the people who work at the Rose Theatre will not greet you the way that Mr. D greets you.
No doubt.
No doubt. How does it feel working at the Rose? You've been there for 6 years, right?
6 years, yes.
Wow. And how do you like it? What do you love the most?
How do I love it? I love it so much. I mean, you cannot imagine how I love it.
You call me by my full name. Full name. I know how much you love it. I don't even hear people with that type of enthusiasm say how much they love their job. So I know you love your job.
So much.
Can I ask you a question that's not about your job?
Shoot.
Who's this lady sitting next to you?
It's my mom, Sharon Yan Zarrab.
What makes your mom so awesome?
Well, to be honest, what makes my mom so awesome is that there's so many things I cannot say about my mom, but to be honest, she's actually one of the greatest.
Well put. So, remember, it's mommy time now. Sharon, you've been a mom to this guy over here for going on, what, 25 years now? 26? 27?
28.
28? 30?
Yeah.
28 years.
He's 28.
How has this journey been? Hey, mom time.
Sorry.
How has the journey been? Being the mom of a comedian, storyteller, usher, a Superman, everything.
Yes, and I do have his book, by the way.
Okay.
It's sitting in my purse. How has this journey been?
Your journey being a mom been with him.
Right. It certainly has defined quite a bit of my life, both in time and perspective and resources and planning. And I was just saying to my friend the other night that I would be really lonely, I think, if I didn't have all the stuff that I'm doing with Dar. He deeply enriches my life.
She will be too lonely.
Are you taking mommy time? Are you taking mom's time?
Well,
Look at you.
And he hasn't really heard me say those sorts of things.
Listen, take this in. For moms who are new moms, who just received word they have a child with a disability,
Right.
what would you say to those moms?
I spent many years actually worrying about the new moms because I felt like there was only a focus on the physical and the biological, and that I didn't have a sense of what it would be like as a parent and for him over the years. And I even brought that up at the hospitals at all the appointments. Let's meet other parents, let's see. You were asking me what I would
Right,
actually
what would you
tell them, or
what would you tell them?
oh wow, trust your gut, really trust yourself, let your love of your child guide you in the journey, and it is absolutely a journey. You have to let the if there is anger and negative feelings that are happening, and feelings of I have no idea what's going on, you have to let that stuff flow through you, so that you could then get on with what is important. Seek help. but know the love that you have for your child and the love that you are getting back helps to ground you. And you will know best, and everyone makes mistakes.
So what the news the hospital gave you when you first, gave birth, did you ever imagine this is the man that you'd have today?
I was actually wondering on the way over here if I would say this, and I've decided that I will. I was told by his neurosurgeon that Darriush would be catatonic. And that was absolutely devastating. And if I would have accepted what I was being told by the doctors, I would have given up on him and our lives. Who knows what? I let him sort of direct what was happening. This isn't that I've decided he's going to do these things. He has loved the drama, and he was always such an actor and so funny and so incredibly positive. So I pick up on what he's interested in, and I go with that, and I try. Yes, and I try to help.
I have no idea what catatonic means.
Good, don't.
Right.
Don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Are you happy with the life you have?
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm very, I love my job. I love what I do. I love drama. I love drama work. And even now, I'm loving to be on this show.
This, like I said, this means so much to me because Darriush has always been a character, and we have 2 minutes left, but I want to say, when I first started working with him, when I was like in my early teens, one memory I have of him is him sitting in the hot tub, and a new female staff would come in, and he'll go, "I don't think I've met you before. You're a very attractive woman. My name's Darriush, but you can call me Mr. D." And then he will kiss your hand. This is what this man does. He just told me if I wasn't engaged, he'd be working his charm on me. Do you see what I mean? He is a man. He is a man who happens to have a disability, but you don't have to be any type of way to have charm. Charm is natural. Right. Charm comes to men.
Yes.
He is a man who is a charming man. He is a comedian. You are what?
To be honest, I am more than a man, Jamil Gambo. I am a prince.
Ooh, did you hear that? I am more than a man, I am a prince.
That's his role in the book.
So, single ladies out there, I'll have Darriush's information for you after the show. This has been another extremely special interview for me because Sharon has always been a mom that stood out to me when I worked in the programs because she was a mom who spoke up. She was a mom who knew what she wanted for her son. She told us what we needed to do, and we needed that kind of direction. And I love parents like this. So if you are a parent who is just, getting into the world of having a child with special needs, you have a voice, you use that voice. You advocate for your child, you advocate for them, you advocate for yourself, and you show the world that your child is capable of doing great things. Regardless of what the doctor may tell you in the beginning, you never know what your child may end up being. So please join me in thanking my wonderful and super attractive guest, Charmer over here. He'll be back. This is not the last time you'll see him. If you'd like to get in touch with him, you could email me, join the Jam Fam, you could tweet me. I love to hear from you. I'll catch you guys on another episode of Voice of All, and I am your host, Jamila Gamble. Have a good night.
Bye. And don't forget.
Don't forget to join the Jam Fam, facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble. You can email me, missjams.pcss@gmail.com. And don't forget, Peel, make sure your businesses are accessible.
Zarrab, what?